This is an Outdoors Delmarva online exclusive.
The summer might be wrapping up for many of us, but those of us who live here on the peninsula know that second season is right around the corner, and second season is for the locals. And if you're going to be spending any time down to Assateague Island National Seashore and you're wanting to drive onto the beach, our ranger friends wanted you to know of a few changes you should be aware of before you head down to the park.
All right, so there's been some changes in how you purchase the OSV permit. In years past, you used to be able to just come into the ranger station to take care of everything. Now, part of that process is now done at home. You're going to go to recreation.gov and you'll create an account or sign into an existing account to purchase your permit. You will then have 10 business days to come and pick up your permit at the ranger station. You will need to bring in your vehicle registration and photo ID. The registered vehicle owner does have to be the one to purchase and pick up the permit. We will be open every day at least from 9 to 5 or pick up that permit at the ranger station. The OSV permit is $110. It's an annual permit. The bullpen pass is $200. So the OSV permit is just your standard pass. That allows you to drive out onto the beach, allows 24-hour access. Between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m. you do have to be actively fishing out on the beach. The bullpen pass is $200. That pass allows you to camp out onto the beach in a separate section. You do have to have a hard-sided camping unit with a permanent bathroom facility attached.
Haley McCready wanted to remind those who do get an OSV permit that that's only one piece of paperwork needed to enjoy your park experience.
You do need an entrance pass in order to get into the park. Most people who purchase the OSV permit purchase our annual entrance pass, which is $45.
But just like the OSV permit, the park pass is good for an entire year.
Yep, it's a rolling 12 months, so whatever month you purchase it in, it's valid through that month the following year. So yes, just because you do have an OSV permit does not guarantee access to the OSV at any time. Certain closures can happen for any number of reasons. Some birds might be nesting out onto the beach. We might have closures due to weather or tides. There's also a 145 vehicle limit. So at any given time, 145 vehicles can be out on the beach. Once we do reach that limit, it becomes a one-off, one-on status.
Steve Braun wanted to add some additional information should you want to experience all that Assateague Island National Seashore has to offer.
So you do need to have a Maryland fishing license to fish out here on the OSV or anywhere on Assateague. You need a Maryland title fishing license. You can get that online or you can get that at some local businesses that sell fishing licenses. Right, so when you enter the OSV, you want to kind of drive in the tire ruts, the tire tracks that are on the far western side of the beach here. That's where you're going to be safest, and they're already kind of pre-paved for you, so they're already the sand's already more packed down at that area. So you want to drive along the OSV in those ruts, in the same ruts that you use on the way out, whether you're going north or south. You do not want to horseplay or drive wild and cross down to the ocean side, back to the tire ruts. You want to stay in the ruts until you've selected a place where you plan on parking, and then pretty much do a K-turn and you'll just back up to the beach area and enjoy it and spend the day.
And if you are thinking about purchasing your OSV permit, you'll want to make sure that your vehicle is up to the challenge.
Yeah, so you do want to be in four-wheel drive. If you have a four-wheel drive vehicle, all-wheel drive vehicles will work, but four-wheel drive vehicles handle the best out here. It's very essential that you air down your tires to 15 to 20 pounds per tire. Most of the people that get stuck out here did not air down. It's also very important that you purchased your OSV permit and picked up the permit in the ranger station, where the park rangers will talk to you a little bit more about the safety and what to expect out here on the OSV.
Steve also reminded us that the right tools for your day on the beach are not only your best insurance in case you get stuck, but they're also required for every vehicle that drives onto the sand.
So we need several things. We need a shovel. It's got to be at least 18-inch handle. You need your standard jack. Most vehicles have their jack in the vehicle already. You need a jack support, which in most cases is just a 12 by 12 board to support the jack, because the jack is just going to drive right into the sand if you try to use it out on the beach. You need a tire gauge. A manual tire gauge is best. Don't just rely on the tire gauge that's in your vehicle. And you need a tow strap or a tow chain. You have to be able to self-extract, so you have to be able to get yourself out. You don't want to incur the cost of a tow, and you can't really rely on your fellow OSVers out there to dig you out, and it's not a service that we provide, so it's something that you want to make sure you have all the equipment so you can self-extract. Okay? We do have these deflators that we use to deflate our tires, because you have to air down to 15 to 20 pounds per tire. Some people just use their fingernail to air down the tires. They do have these deflators. You can buy these. You just screw these right onto the tire stem, and it'll automatically start to bring the air down in your tires. You can monitor that, and you want to make sure that you take it down to 15 to 20 pounds per tire.
It's no secret why Assateague is such a unique place, but if you're new to the area, you'll want to pay close attention to this next part.
Assateague provides a unique experience in itself that we do allow driving out onto the beach, because that is not found everywhere. It is the only place in Maryland that you are allowed to do that. And we do have the wild horses that roam freely, so that is very unique to Assateague to be able to drive out onto the beach and possibly encounter some wild horses.
And if you're interested in a more traditional national park experience, well, Assateague Island National Seashore has you covered there too.
Yeah, we do have camping here at Assateague, however, not out here on the OSV zone. But if you were interested in tent camping, we do have a campground. Again, recreation.gov is that same website that you would use to book a campsite as well.
Some precautionary information was also provided during my trip that seemed rather important to pass along to you.
So the speed limit is 25 miles an hour, but when you're around other drivers or animals, 15 miles an hour is preferred. When heading down the beach, the people who are heading northbound do have to move over for the ones that are heading southbound, just because it makes the flow that much easier down onto the beach.
And vehicle safety is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Assateague.
You want to stay at least 40 feet. That is the law. We refer to that as a bus length. So for visuals, you want a school bus length away from the horses. This is to keep not only us safe, but also the horses as well. They are very interested in food. So if you are out here camping, or if you're out here on the OSV, or if you're just having a picnic, you want to keep your eye out. Make sure you are aware of your surroundings. If you see some horses coming by, you're probably going to want to pack everything up. We suggest a hard-sided cooler with a strap.
And before we wrap up our day at Assateague Island National Seashore, a reminder that the creature comforts you know at home do not exist out on the beach.
There's no water out there, so you want to make sure that you have a cooler, you have some drinks to make sure that you stay hydrated out there. There's no shade, so a lot of people will bring a shade tent. There's no bathrooms out there on the OSV, so you can't be out there for any really extended period of time. You'd have to come back up off the OSV to come use the restroom area here at the South Beach parking lot. Right, so you can have a tent on the beach, some shade protection up to sunset, okay? And then tents have to be taken down at sunset. You can't sleep or camp out on the OSV overnight. You can be out there all night long. If you're out there after midnight, you do have to actively be fishing, so you can't sleep or camp out on the OSV unless you have a bullpen permit. If you have a bullpen permit, which you have a slide-in hard-shelled camper that has an enclosed toilet and attached wastewater tanks, you can purchase a bullpen permit and sleep and camp in the bullpen.